Let's talk about a security warning that pretty much everyone would just scroll right past. It's a tiny technical detail, a missing website header. But trust me, behind it is a fascinating story of how a feature designed to be helpful can be turned into a weapon. You've seen this in a security report, right? Severity, low. Your brain just immediately files it under not a priority, and you move on to the big, scary, critical warnings. It seems completely harmless, but is it really? That is the exact question we're going to dig into. Why does this low severity warning even exist in the first place? And what hidden danger is it trying to tell us about? The answer is way more clever than you might think. To really get this, we first need to understand a standard, and usually pretty helpful feature that's built into almost every web browser. It's a kind of guessing game that your browser plays for you every single day. It's officially called MIME type sniffing. Now, the core idea is pretty simple. When a web server sends your browser a file but forgets to label it, your browser doesn't just give up. It actually opens the file, looks inside, it sniffs the content, and tries to guess what it is. Is it an image? Is it a PDF? Or maybe a script? Think of your browser like a super helpful but maybe slightly naive assistant. A package shows up with no label on it. The assistant opens it up, peeks inside, and says, "Oh, this looks like a photo. I'll hang it on the wall for you." Most of the time, that's great. It works perfectly. But what happens when that assistant makes a mistake and hangs something dangerous on your wall instead? And that's exactly where things get serious. This is how that helpful guess can be twisted into an actual attack. An attacker can exploit this guessing game, turning your browser's helpful nature completely against you. So here's the crucial point. The vulnerability isn't just about the browser guessing. It becomes a real problem when a website allows its users to upload their own files. Things like a profile picture, a document, or any kind of attachment. This is where the classic Trojan horse strategy comes into play. An attacker creates a file that looks like one thing on the surface, a totally harmless image, for example, but they've secretly embedded malicious computer code inside of it. So on the outside, it's a picture, but deep inside, it's a weapon. So here's the play-by-play of how it all goes down. The attacker uploads their disguised file. The web server, because it's missing that critical header, serves up the file with no label. Your browser downloads it, does its sniffing thing, and it sees the hidden code. It makes the wrong guess, thinking, wait a minute, this isn't an image, this is a script. And then it runs it. And just like that, you have a cross-site scripting attack, all sparked by one simple missing header. And this is not just some theory. The source material makes it absolutely clear. You can hide code inside an image, and if the conditions are just right, a victim will execute that code just by trying to look at the picture. So how do we stop this pretty clever attack? Well, the solution is beautifully simple. It doesn't require any complex software. It just requires being way more explicit with two simple commands. The entire fix really boils down to one core principle. Stop the guessing game. The server needs to tell the browser exactly what it's sending, leaving zero room for interpretation or for dangerous mistakes. The very first step is putting that header back that was missing in the first place, the content type header. This is the label for the package. By including this, the server says, hey browser, what I'm sending you is an HTML page, or this is an image, or this is a PDF. There's no ambiguity at all, so there's no reason for the browser to start sniffing around. But to be absolutely safe, we add a second command. This is like the lock on the box. It's a direct instruction to the browser. The nosniff header is a direct order. It tells the browser, listen, I have already labeled this file for you with the content type header. Do not second guess me. Do not perform MIME sniffing. What you see on the label is what you get, period. So why does this all matter? Well, these two simple headers completely shut down this entire attack vector. They prevent MIME sniffing, which in turn helps stop a major source of cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, and they help websites comply with big security standards from groups like OWASP and PCI. And that brings us right back to where we started. That low severity warning, it isn't just noise, it's an indicator. It's pointing to a missing safety check that, under just the right circumstances, could be exploited for a really high-impact attack. It's a fantastic reminder to never judge a vulnerability by its label. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We build so much of our technology to be helpful and intuitive, and a lot of that comes from making smart guesses on our behalf. But as we've just seen, every guess is also an opportunity for a mistake. It really makes you wonder, what other helpful features in the software we use every single day might be hiding a very similar risk.